Hello everyone. I am currently in my old stomping grounds where my first job in Korea was, where they did actual crime. It was crazy. Like home invasion, attempts to steal my passport, urination on my belongings, crazy times. I had to come up here to pick something up from someone, and I figured why not just walk around a bit, see if I can find my old area. I know the place is closed down, but why not try, you know? So I'm currently walking to the place where I used to work. I'm sorry for the wind. It's the windiest place in the world. And just like I remember it, the whole city smells like egg farts and vinegar, so that's fun. And they built a lot of stuff in the 4.5 years since I lived here, so I'm kind of feeling lost. I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going. The map says I'm going in the right way, but none of these buildings were here. So, oh god, I almost dropped my phone. So who's to say, really? Shout out to Songdo Incheon for being stinky, both figuratively and literally. I hate it here. Also, shout out to Songdo Incheon for not believing in escalators. And that's why I'm out of breath. I feel like I remember this place, but this is not where I need to go. But I also know that the map says I'm going the right direction. They've just built so much stuff. Oh, okay. No, I see it. I see the place. Okay. Oh, yikes. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what's going on up there. Okay, so the reason I don't recognize this area is because this used to be like a big, solid, like plastic wall showing a construction site, I believe, if not mistaken. I think pretty much almost everything along this side from the subway station to the building used to be a construction site with like those big plastic barriers. Because I remember this plant or building, whatever, behind everything, but I couldn't see it from the road. I don't know what CJ Olive Networks is, but I don't know if anyone else does either. Oh my god, I see my old house. And the building where I used to work, I'll show you. Ew, that was my house. This is where the building was. I'm trying not to point with my middle finger, I don't want to be rude. Even though the building deserves it. Those little things over there are like automatic trash cans. So that's interesting. They've done some upgrades where this like lattice work here looks crazy, but that's different. This restaurant is different. I think this is the same place as there used to be. Honeybee is new, or at least new for me. This place has been the same forever. Yeah, and on the ocean, in the ocean, whatever. Gross. Ew, jail. I remember having a phone call with a labor attorney in this lobby. Scream crying because of the trauma. I remember having a mental breakdown at this ATM because it ate my cash and wouldn't give it back or deposit it into my account. And I remember my manager yelling at me for not having that cash available. I remember this really ugly statue right next to the crosswalk. I remember because if you walk that way and then turn right a little bit, there's a McDonald's that I used to go cry at. Let's see if I can get to, should be a convenience store behind this corner where at these tables some of the teachers used to sit and drink afterwards. Yep, there we go. Yeah. remember correctly, the academy was on the 3rd floor. You can't really see it well, but these windows have stickers on them. It's because that used to be the academy. Don't know if it still is one. My house was the 3rd floor. One of those windows up there was my old house. I believe it was that one with the window open. Maybe the one next to it. I don't know. But yeah, 0 out of 10. Don't recommend anything in this area. I hate it here. What a horrible place. Let me go see if the academy still has the sign up. I doubt it. It's been closed for years because the guy who owned it died. Rightfully so. Let's see. Oh, it's not even listed. There's no 3rd floor. Crazy. That's crazy. Oh, I'm gonna go back outside. I'm not having it in this area. I'm gonna go walk to the mall. I'm gonna go walk to the mall and eat a meal. I'm gonna let that door slam on my way out. Disrespectful city. Disrespectful person. Do not care. Oh my god, I hate it here. I'm so hateful. Okay, sorry for the negativity. This is a city of trauma and horrible times. I used to take what I call panic attack walks around this entire city and just cry and scream and yell for hours every night after work, because I would come home to an apartment that the director of the academy had broken into, torn to shreds, and pissed all over. Not even kidding. He pissed all over everything. He would rip the bedding off my bed and piss on it every day. And then I would come home. I would put everything into the washing machine, wash my hands very thoroughly, try my best to put things back where they belonged, and then grab all my stuff and take a long walk to calm down from that and just think about what my options were. So that was fun. I love coming home at 7:30 p.m. to just a wrecked apartment covered in a man's piss, because he was doing that because he was mad that I was leaving the job. But I was leaving the job because he fired me. And he fired me because he had decided that I had quit when I had never quit. So he fired me because he made up the fact that I quit because he didn't want to finish my contract out. And they had just started cracking down harder on what they call 11th month firings in Korea. So an 11th month firing is when an employer fires you in the month before your final month of your contract. It doesn't have to be month 11, but it has to be the month before your final contract month, because after you finish a full calendar year of work, 365 days of work at a job in Korea, you are automatically entitled to severance pay of approximately 1 month of pay. So you get 13 months of pay for working 12 months of work. Now, if you work 15 months, you get 16 months of pay. You still get it as long as you pass the 365-day mark. Employers, especially employers for migrant workers like English teachers and other people on visas, they would just illegally fire you in your second to last month of work so they could avoid paying your severance. But they would get the maximum amount of work out of you, but they would fire you right before you meet your 365-day mark. And that was a calculated tactic to save money and not pay you what you're rightfully entitled to as a worker in Korea. And that is a crime. It's a genuine big deal crime, and the labor office doesn't play around with that. So I'm getting all worked up about this. So they had already attempted to bully another teacher that I'm still friends with to this day out of her position at the 11th month, but she's a trooper and she stayed for the whole 12 months, got her severance, got free from this horrible situation and then went to a different academy. Good for her. We love to see it. Amazing. But I was fired at month 9 for no reason. It was fully just like a lie. He said that I had quit, but I hadn't ever quit. I had called the manager into a meeting to discuss some illegal stuff that they had done. They had basically like, I don't know if I can, okay, he's dead, so he can't sue me. And I'm not telling you which one it is, whatever. So basically, he had everyone, all the teachers, go through their mandatory like domestic abuse training. So you're, as a teacher in Korea, it's the same as being a teacher in America. You're a mandatory reporter if you see or suspect domestic violence with a coworker, a student, etc. You are legally obligated to report it. Otherwise, you can be held legally liable if something happens. Yada yada yada. We all know that. So, in order to actually like make sure that we are protected enough to be able to not be held legally liable for these things, we're supposed to go through mandatory training to notice domestic violence and stuff like that. So they have a mandatory yearly training in Korea for educators, which private academies, which are not schools, they're businesses, but private academies also have to give you that training. So there's no excuses. You have to go through it. He basically called us into the auditorium. Well, he had the assistant director call us into the auditorium and sign a sign-in sheet. Okay. Not what it was, to be honest, but he had us sign a sign-in sheet that was just a bunch of like Korean. It looked like a legal document because it was. And we all had to sign it when we walked in, and then we sat down, and then he proceeded to skip past all of the mandatory videos. So it showed the government that we had watched the videos, but we didn't actually get any of the information. So I was like, absolutely the heck not. And so then I had called my assistant manager into a meeting and was like, no. I want the information for the contact of a police department or an agency if I suspect child abuse, because I know the signs of it because I've been through that training in my home country where I did educator stuff as well. I've also had friends be killed by domestic violence. I've had friends survive domestic violence. I've seen it a lot. I know the signs, right? I feel confident that I can know the signs without this training. Still illegal for them to do, but whatever. But then she was like, no. And I was like, what do you mean no? And she's like, report it to us, as in the management. And then we will report it to the police. And I was like, no. Because it's not your job to report it for me. It's my job to report it for the child. And she looked me dead in the face and said, if we report the parents for being abusive, they'll stop paying tuition here. No. So what I said was, oh my god, that's crazy. What was that sign-in sheet? She said that was the document telling the government that you received that training. I was like, take my name off of there because I didn't receive the training. And then she wouldn't do it. And she wouldn't even approach the director to do it. And so I was like, this is crazy. I only have 9 months of work left here. So I'm going to have to think about whether or not I want to stay at this job because this is insane and I don't feel safe here. And I told her, like, if you can find someone to replace me, I will take a letter of release and I will go. I will even wait until the other teacher comes and I can train them to leave. And if you can't do that within the time that I need to leave by the time my contract is done, I'll just stay until the end of my contract. I'm going to cooperate with y'all, but you need to, like, start figuring yourself out, because that's illegal. That's fraud and that's illegal, and I'm not okay with that. And then they took that as me quitting, where I was like, no, I'm going to continue, but if you find another person to replace me, great. Because I basically was telling them I'm not re-signing. I'm not signing again for another year, so start looking now because you only have 3 months during the height of COVID to find a new teacher. So start interviewing people now. I'll give you that fair warning. Bring somebody over now because I'm not re-signing. Because they gave you 60 days to tell them if you were signing again or not. And I was like, well, I'll just give you 90 days. I don't care. I'll tell you right now. But then they had said that I quit. And that all happened on like a Friday. And then the next Monday, they were like, okay, so you're being fired. I was like, for what? And they're like, remember you quit. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any kind of sense, because if I quit, then why would I be being fired? Also, I didn't quit. I didn't submit a resignation letter. I didn't say that I wanted to quit. You're insane. And then they proceeded to lie to me and misrepresent the Korean labor laws and everything. So that was fun. And that all happened within my first 9 months of living in this country. So that's when I learned the labor laws, and that's when I learned that there's a trap with the visa that you get to come here to teach English. They trap you into it. It's essentially indentured servitude, where they provide your house, they control your house, they control your visa, they control your job, they control everything about you. And they can fire you because you look different, or you act weird, and by weird I mean like not the way they want you to act, not even like unprofessionally. They could just fire you for any reason. And then you have 14 days to leave the country because they cancel your visa. So like you're screwed if you don't get a permission slip from them called a letter of release. And they don't have to give you that letter of release. It's totally up to them to give it to you. So it's rigged against the teachers. It's rigged against the workers. And it's absolutely unacceptable and ridiculous. And they'll fire you over literally nothing. They'll fire you over finding out they did something illegal. So they'll fire you and get you deported before they actually like follow the laws. Like they know they're doing illegal stuff and they know they'll get in huge trouble. So they count on them being able to deport you or scare you into silence. And if you know me, you know that I don't play that game. I don't care. Put me in a body bag. That's the only way you're getting me out of this country. Figure it out. I'm not leaving. Especially not because you can't handle the fact that you need to be accountable for your actions as a grown adult. Also, that school was a kindergarten. The guy running a kindergarten broke into my house and pissed on all my stuff and tried to steal my passport. Because I figured out that he was doing illegal stuff. He ran a kindergarten. I mean, I guess that's Korea for you. Bye.